I'll talk about custom stable lenses. We have produced them for 1 year already for the European market. It is a lens that has already been on the American market for some years. A few things which are about to be released in Italy are already out there on the market in the US. It's a miniscleral lens covering the cornea, and it rests on the sclera. It is suitable for fittings without any compromises. What do I mean by this? Internally, it has a spherical surface or torical surface, either prime or elite. Outside, it can be toric. It's got 4 diameters, 1480, 1580, 1680, and 1780. There are only 6 base curves, and this is a benefit because fitting is much easier. 689, 718, 750, 785, 823, and 865. Of these 6 base curves, 60–70% is accounted for by 750, 785, and 823. There are 3 adaptation variables: the base curve, the scleral area, the limbal area, LCZ and SCZ. Let me show them to you. The central optic zone, which is in the base radius, and it's the first point we should focus on. Please consider that when we move by one or from one radius to the other, you either increase or decrease by 200 microns. So choosing the right radius is important. What do we do when we select the radius? We want to obtain a tear meniscus which is not too convergent or not too divergent. Possibly there has to be no prism. Prism means that the lens could be positioned too low, even if a small prism size is acceptable, but I'll show you later. We've selected our base radius. Now we have to decide about the sagittal height. We can do this through the limbal zone. We can move in steps of 50 microns, either upwards or downwards. And once you have established which is the best sagittal height, you have to avoid infiltrations under the lens, or at least allow for very few of them. What about tomorrow's custom stable lens? It should be available in a few months' time in Italy as well. It's the quadrant-specific custom stable lens with the possibility of working on a quadrant independently of the others, or on 2 independently of the other 2. Not just this, we also have the possibility of taking up some blooming phenomena such as pinguecola. We have started to manufacture and deliver the miniscleral contact lenses, the so-called Aurora custom stable lens, with very good feedback. Vision is very similar to the one obtained with multifocal spectacles. As was mentioned by Francesco Sala before, miniscleral contact lenses give more stable vision. The lens is tight, the tear film the tear fluid doesn't move underneath, and the vision is very clear and crisp with considerable advantages. This multifocal contact lens has the possibility of customizing the central zone and the transition zone. You put a center distance in the dominant eye, and on the other side a center near. Now just some cases. We're not talking about multifocality here, but we're talking about the approach to miniscleral lenses. This is Elena, a 41-year-old woman with bilateral keratoconus, 10 years of successful GP wear, but now the lenses tend not to sit where they should. With miniscleral lenses, we were able to obtain a visual acuity of 10/10 on both sides. Let's look at the right eye. The map shows that in 10 years' time, in the bottom you have 2002, I think. No, 2006. Keratoconus had evolved very little. The first thing that we advised her to do was to take a good picture for vascularization so that we could compare in future sessions. You see that vascularization is quite normal in the bottom panel. A prime contact lens, a spherical one, was fitted 750 and a diameter of 14.80 because the cornea is below 11 millimeters diameter, and a power of 4 with very good coverage. In the images showing the segment, you see that the meniscus is a little bit prismatic. The lens tends to sit in the lower area, probably because the tear meniscus is a little bit too high. In the final prescription, we used a 750 prime with diameter 14.80 and a power of 4. We have used 100 microns and did something about the SLZ as well, because there was some movement, some motion, and infiltrations under the lens. We compensated this with a -1 in the peripheral area. 0.35 is found sagittally, so the lens is higher than 0.35, but having +1 in the limbal area, you have lowered the lens by 100 microns. So we've moved down by 70 microns, and you can see this in this segment. The lens is centered and the meniscus is now optimal. It's a bit too thick, if you like, but the fact that there are no more infiltrations shows that we can keep it like this. Another case, Marco, 42-year-old. He had a left eye transplantation and has used custom stable lenses for 1 year successfully. Visual acuity is 0.8. You see the map of 1 year ago below, and the more recent maps in the upper quadrants. The lens is working well. Vascularization is normal. The lens is a toric elite, 718, 1580 minus 650. LCZ and SLZ are standard. There's very good coverage. Look at this scleral support and also limbal lifting. This is a winning characteristic. You will hardly find black arches showing that limbally the result is not an optimal one. The characteristics of the lens, anyway, are such as not to create any special problem there. Look at the segment. It's good. There is a good thickness. The prism is a minimal one. It doesn't really create any problems, so it functions well. Just another thing about Marco, there is keratoconus in the right eye. He wears a thickened soft lens, but after 1 year, he reports that throughout the day there's a tendency to have a dry eye, so he wants a custom stable lens also on the right. This is a lens for irregular corneas, but you can fit it to normal eyes as well if high comfort and excellent vision are required. In the case of dissatisfied soft contact lens wearers, as in Marco's case, you can obtain very good results focusing on vision details. They provide for good vision and excellent comfort. We have to avoid patients who are too independent, not very patient, people who are only in a hurry, or people to whom only price matters, or people who do not care about hygiene. In very complex fittings, you can reduce the chair time, making it easier to approach GP lenses. You know that if the GP lens is not successful, you have this possibility in your hands. This lens may solve the situation at a very fast rate. I remember one person saying, "I don't see a meadow, but I see all the different grass elements in it." Custom Stable has a kit of 12, 24 lenses. You should fit it with the help of our training courses and helped by our technical support system. We have a study center. In April, we did 50 cases with miniscleral contact lenses, so we have a lot of material to share. We strongly believe in miniscleral lenses. Our fitting habits are changing. Our goal is for you to approach these products because you will soon you won't be able to do without them. Thank you.